Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Beavercreek Rotary 49th Founders Day event. Good to see everyone. For those of you that don't know, I'm Stephen Brown. I am the president of the club. We have a very, very special guest today. Really appreciate her coming out. It's Mother's Day weekend, and her mother came from all the way out of town to see her, but she is here with us. So let's give her a round of applause here. We are used to doing the pledge, but we have something a little bit better. So if you would all rise, Master Sergeant Christine Foley is going to sing the national anthem, and she is with the United States Air Force. Air Force number 1.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ran clear, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I'd like to invite Denny Jarvie up to do the invocation.
Would you please join me in prayer? Holy Creator, you have created a wonderful evening for us tonight to be able to celebrate our work in Rotary. We thank you for that. But I would ask you if you would pray silently together, each one of us according to our own individual beliefs. Let us offer thanks for our food, blessings for one another, and to be a source of hope for those who need it, and contentment for those who are lonely. Let us give gratitude for the opportunity to serve Rotary, for the feelings of love, kindness, and a well-directed yet gentle spirit, always reflected in our actions. Amen.
Thank you very much, Tim. We have a long, amazing night ahead of us. So you don't have pre-existing thoughts of meeting Mike later. Dinner is to start here right now, and the program is starting at 7. We are going to start a little bit earlier, about 6:50. I'll give you a heads up. I'll ring the bell again for you. But I'm going to make sure I get you guys all out of here in a timely manner. So without further ado, dinner started.
Don't all get up at once.
So. All right, everybody. I hope everyone's enjoying their food. I was a little premature on saying that we were going to start 10 minutes early because of the buffet line, so we're starting now. The first thing I want to do is I want to thank my board members. I'm very, very fortunate to have the board members that I have. All of them have, for the most part, have served here at the club for a long time. So you have multiple backgrounds and long history with Rotary. So it's been an amazing experience to work with them. I'm gonna do things a little differently. Usually, yeah, go figure. So I think usually they pass out a certificate, has your name on it, and probably ends up in the trash. Mine will probably be the same. You'll probably still throw it away, but I'm going to do it a little differently. I'm going to go through each board member. Before you come up, I will talk about you first, and then you can come up. But let's start off with Eric Marcus. There you go. So what can I say about Eric that hasn't already been said or at least thought about? But in all seriousness, Eric Marcus has been a backbone for my role as a presidency. He's been a long time Rotarian, past president, and of course even a district. I have grown a good relationship with you more now in my presidency than I ever have, and I can't thank you enough for that. So if you want to come up here, Eric, I have a gift for you. I was trying to think of the best way. And you're gonna love this. The best way to show my appreciation. So here I have framed my latest invoice.
It's past due, folks.
Can you read what that says right there? Zero balance on what date? Is that today, sir? Oh, you're gonna give me a check. Happy Founder's Day, it's paid for, sir. All right. David Cusack, where are you? Where's Dave? There he is. Has anyone noticed throughout this whole year, he's the only one that I emphasize his name on when I say his name? David Cusack. No one's noticed that? All right. What jokes can I say about David that David Fleming hasn't already burned upon? I never got the lawyer jokes, I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty sure you're a pretty average lawyer, and we appreciate that.
That's what I strive for.
Adequate is the word I was thinking. But in all honesty, you have been a true role model of a Rotarian. When I joined little over 4 years ago, I've had the greatest experience with presidencies. You were one of the first. Between Rotary, work, and your family, you are a true role model, and I've been blessed to have you on my board. Between Beth and you guys are the super couple of Rotary, so I can't wait to work with you again on the board next year. So I have a gift for you if you want to come up. So here I've listed top lawyer jokes. So you don't have to do this, but I would suggest maybe reading all these, coming up with rebuttals, because Don Adams is coming hard this year with Sergeant at Arms. So. JD Hustle, where I rewrote yours like 7 different times. And then I came to a realization that not only are you a retired Master Sergeant in the Air Force, but you're a lot bigger than I am. So I'm going to save myself a beating that I probably deserve. And we'll cut to the good stuff. You joined Rotary from Shannon, obviously. And immediately you got very involved right off the rip. We had a position on the board that came open during the term, and you jumped right in, and you did it very fiercely, and I really appreciate that. It's all roles are very important, but I really appreciate you coming in. Because club admin's a tough one to fill, and you jumped in head first, so I appreciate that. If you would like to come up here and accept your gift. So without offending you, I thought I would do something really nice. Here's a portrait of Shannon Graham. Sandy Brubaker, the one that got away. I don't even know what that means. I've always wanted to say that, so. Sandy is a perfect role model in her role as club membership director. That is a very hard role. As you know, Rotary's biggest goal is to push members, get more members, and it's a tough role. She does an amazing job. She's super passionate about not just Rotary and service, but she's passionate about everything that she does. Her career is everything. Look at me, for instance. I remember the first time I met you, it was Hilton Dora. We talked about 100 different things, and next thing you know, I'm a board of director at Beavercreek Rotary. I don't even know how that happened. I do actually. You're the one that told me to do this. But frankly, your experience as a caseworker in a master's degree in counseling, I think we're underutilizing your abilities here at Beavercreek Rotary. So we'll make a note of that later. But you are a prime example of service above self. And I had a perfect present for you. It's my favorite.
It's a portrait of shame.
Even better. There's only one thing better than that. It is a portrait of me. Remember, you are that. So there you go. Pray Tap is not here, so I have no jokes about him other than he loves Rick Corrales. Pray Tap is amazing though. He's done such a great job. He is very passionate in his role as project director. I wish he could make it tonight. He was supposed to come here, but he did have something to come up. But he's absolutely amazing, and I look forward to working with him more as well. Where is he? There he is. Brandon. I'm going to keep my short with you, so you're going to do this next to me. Forrest Gump. Why don't you come up here real quick?
Run, Forrest, run.
Brandon, do you remember when I called you and asked you to be president-elect? I begged. It was over the phone, but I was absolutely on my knees begging. Not only because you would be an amazing fit, which you will be, you jumped into Rotary head first. I think you're on your like 20th Paul Harris now. You've been amazing, and I can't wait to serve with you as when you're president. But I have this portrait of you when you were a little boy, / he was a speaker at Rotary. This is when he first joined. So I have two things for you. One, this is you jumping in head first, showing up to every meeting, just being amazing. You're going to do this. So thank you so much. Seriously.
Say, this is proof that anybody can be chosen.
Last but not least is Mike Canada. Canada? Mike Canada? He didn't show up. So Mike Canada was president last year. He's in Florida with his family. I'm gonna try to call him real quick. He's probably not gonna answer.
I love it.
I hope he answers. Well, he's not answering, but I'm gonna leave it on, so he has a super long voicemail. Last but not least, Mike Civic. No, you weren't on the board, but you gotta come up here. So you might not know, but I started at Fairborn Rotary when I worked at Homewood Suites a very long time ago. Was very involved, love Fairborn. I'm from Beavercreek, but got involved with Fairborn, love Fairborn. Moved to Cincinnati, and when I came to Beavercreek, I felt like I knew no one. Being from Beavercreek and not knowing anyone was weird for me. But I was able to gain a lot of, I was able to meet a lot of people all at once and made some of the most impactful relationships in my life. And I have to thank Zwick for that. He's the one that invited me into Beavercreek Rotary and has introduced me to probably half of these people in this room. So thank you so much. I have a picture of you, me, and Joe. Senior president.
I love it.
Just a reminder, we are still on voicemail for candidates.
Yes.
Brandon, would you like to come up here? We're going to do the perfect attendance. No, you're fine. You're
Okay, we start.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna start at the top with 48 years of perfect attendance. He's not in attendance tonight, though. So unfortunately, that would be Scott Hadley. Are we satisfied with our message tonight?
Oh, yes, yes.
President,
Yeah, you guys might.
We're not going to say too much. Just the fact that my father has been with you guys since the beginning, and we need all of your prayers because he is a little struggling right now, and things are hopefully going to be progressing very soon. I really don't want to go into details, but he would want me to speak and say something on his behalf. Again, he would like me to tell you guys that he loves every one of you. He respects you, and he thanks every one of you for everything that you've done for him and for this community and for the Rotary Club. So thank you.
I want you to know without Zoom, he would not have had perfect attendance, because when he was in the hospital 2 days after surgery, he calls me on the phone and goes, go into my computer, tells me how to get on the computer, so he can have the phone turned next to the computer, he turned up, and he turned this phone on at the hospital, and he listened to every meeting. So, good times.
Yes, thank you very much for coming up and saying that our thoughts and prayers are with you and Scott. So actually, since you said that, last Friday meeting, at the very end of the meeting, that's how we ended it, was we were let know that he was on, even though we couldn't see him on Zoom, that you had your cell phone on during Zoom, which says a lot about Scott and you. Obviously, Rotary is super important for him. He's one of the beginning ones, so he's an amazing guy, great role model, and our thoughts are with you and family.
Okay, next on the list, it's no 48 years, but coming in at 29 years, Jim Gundel. At 27 years, Eric Marcus. At 22 years, Mr. Jim Rudd. Okay, at I think 17 years, is that correct? We have Denny Jarvie. At 11 years, Commissioner Gould. At 9 years, we have two. We have Mr. Mike Zwick, Mr. David Cusack.
Yes. So you have 22 plus one.
Okay, disregard that part where Mr. Jarvis is at 7 and 17. So going to 6 years, Miss Beth Cusack and Mr. Shannon Graham.
What's up, Stephen?
At 5 years, Sandy Brubaker. Okay, I've been in about 4 years. I apologize if I don't say this correctly. At 4 years, J. Alexander Zaharia. At 2 years, we got a trio here. We've got Mr. John Henderson, Mr. Brian Lambton, and Mr. Don Adams. Okay, we've got a few here at the 1 year mark. I'll start with the man up there. Congratulate you, Mr. Stephen Brown. Yes. See him on the screen all the meetings. He did it. So for the rest, we got Mr. Peter Bales, Mr. Robert Kochoy, Mr. Charles Curran, Mr. J.D. Huddleston, and Edward and Francis O'Shaughnessy.
Oh, thanks. Still appreciate that.
And
You got a bum right. I just did. I was at a bum race. See it from
broke out of jail.
Thanks for Right. Yeah, thank you, guys. I will say this is a perfect time to announce. If you miss a meeting and you come to a board meeting or go to a different meeting, the responsibility is on you to report that. Because right now, Beth is sitting a year or two behind her husband, but technically they are even, so I'm just gonna throw that out there. I'm only 7 years way over here. So. I'd like to invite Ryan Langton up.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a posthumous sergeant's report.
People who some part of the January 6th to 10th November election are currently running for elected office, including some who really prefer sound effects. The older I get, the earlier it gets late. I say the other day, I could be referring to any time between yesterday and 20 years. I still remember being able to get up without making sound effects. I've had my patience tested. I'm negative. Remember, if you lose a sock in the dryer, it comes back as a Tupperware lid that doesn't fit anything. If you're sitting in public and a stranger takes the seat next to you, just stare straight ahead and say, "Did you bring the money?" When you ask me what I'm doing today and I say nothing, it does not mean I am free. It means I am doing nothing. I hate it when a couple argues in public and I miss the beginning and don't know whose side I'm on. And I ask for directions, please don't use words like east. Sometimes someone unexpected comes into your life out of nowhere, makes your heart race and changes you forever. We call those people cops. Okay, an old blind Marine wanders into an all-girl biker bar by mistake. He finds his way to a bar stool, orders a shot of Jack Daniels. After sitting there for a while, he yells at the bartender, "Hey, you want to grab one too?" The bar immediately falls absolutely silent. In a very deep, husky voice, the woman next to him says, "Before you tell that joke, I think it's only fair, given that you were blind, that you should know 5 things." The bartender is a blonde girl with a baseball bat. The bouncer is a blonde girl. I'm a 6 foot tall, 175-pound blonde woman with a black belt in karate. The woman sitting next to me is blonde and a professional waitress. The lady to your left is blonde and a professional wrestler. Now think about it seriously. Do you still want to tell that blonde joke? The blind Marine thinks for a second, shakes his head and mutters, "No, not if I'm going to have to explain it 5 times."
Ladies and gentlemen, that's Dave. Dave was president of Rotary the year before I was. A lot of us were at the service at the church downtown, and the reoccurring theme was service and humor. The reoccurring theme was service and humor. A little bit of tennis and a brief mention of Butler. Yep. David Lee Fleming, Beavercreek, husband, father, brother, and friend to many, passed away on April 2nd. He was born in Newcastle, Indiana, spent his life in service of God, country, and community. Of course, we all know he graduated from Butler University and also McCormick Theological Seminary and the Ohio State University. He served the Presbytery of Miami Valley as an associate executive from 1988 to 2001. Previously served as pastor of the First Presbyterian in Rushville, Indiana, First Presbyterian of Urbana, Calvary Presbyterian of Logansport, Indiana, Executive Director of Kirkmont Center, Adjunct Faculty at the United Theological Seminary in Fortis College, as well as interim pastor at many Presbyterian churches in Dayton, Ohio area. He retired with the rank of colonel from the United States Army. He was an Army Reserve chaplain for 22 years. He did have some active duty during Operation Desert Storm. Some of the things that we heard at his service that I wasn't even aware of, he was involved in many volunteer efforts through his life. American Red Cross, Dorothy Love Retirement Community, Covenant Gathering, Miami Valley Hospital Pastoral Counseling Center, Executive Board of Tecumseh Council, Boy Scouts, we knew that. Of course, many Rotary clubs he belonged to. Dayton Organizing Project, Bergamo Center, Presbyterian Council for Chaplains and Military Personnel. This must be some sort of Army thing. The PCUSA General Assembly Task Force, Kirkmont and Geneva Center Boards, Western Ohio Country Mental Health Association, Arts Council, the Urbana Foundation, Great Lakes Association, and Presbyterian Church Educators. The other thing that we did hear quite a bit about Dave was he was a leader, and you know, talk about Gussie all the time. If you want to get something done, you ask a busy person. That's Gussie. That was Dave. At his service, there was we've all seen this photo. On the back, I read this, and I want to read it to you all. It's actually in your program. This really captures the essence. It's entitled "To Laugh Often." To laugh often and love much. To win the respect of intelligent persons and the affection of children. To earn the approbation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends. To appreciate beauty. To find the best in others. To give of oneself. To leave the world a bit better, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To have played and laughed with enthusiasm and sung with exultation. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is have succeeded. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Godspeed. Now I'm going to put my other hat on, commenting at the table. You see I'm wearing readers because I'm old and stuff. And you would think I'd make this a little bit bigger font. I'll learn eventually. My friends, I'm pleased to introduce two new Rotarians to our club. At this time, Dave Brandenburg, would you please stand and be recognized? Oh, that's really high. That back, sorry. Born and raised right here in Dayton, Ohio, Dave graduated from Fairborn High School. Oh no, you get to stay standing. We get to keep looking at you. He started working, and I'll let you know. He started working at a very young age as a plumber's assistant, not following in his father's footsteps. That's what his father did. He went to work for Dayton Walther, and he spent 30 years in the assembly line making truck wheels and brake trucks. At one point, he tells me Dayton Walther was the world's largest supplier of truck wheels and brake trucks. He also spent 15 years as a business agent with the International Association of Machinists. Dave enjoys deer and rabbit hunting and target shooting, so don't get on his bad side. He also has two custom Jeep Wranglers. You'll have to ask him about his co-pilot in that one yellow Jeep he's got. He didn't drive it tonight, but it's an ape skeleton named Coco Chuck. Dave's a member of the Kettering Optimists, and he also is involved in Shoes for the Shoeless. I asked him about the coolest place he's ever been. He said it was Bangkok, Thailand. I asked him about the most famous persons he ever met, and he said, well, he met John Glenn, President Clinton, and Howard Metzenbaum. So you can decide which one is the most famous. Sadly, Dave's wife passed away 4 years ago. He does have 2 daughters. We know one of them, Krista Hunt, and Tracy Roberts, and he has 6 grandkids. David's Rotary sponsor is Mike Zwick. David, now you may be seated.
No.
Yes. At this time, Joe Jenkins, would you please stand? Born in Xenia, Ohio, Joe graduated from Xenia High School. He played soccer, football, and basketball. I think he's an overachiever. And you'll soon hear why and more. He attended George Mason and is currently a student at Wright State University. He started off working in a law firm. When he and his wife bought their first home, he said it was a fixer-upper. And he really actually enjoyed it. So he learned how to do all that stuff, flooring, painting, all that carpentry work. So he bought another one, and another one, and so on and so forth. And he started remodeling for other folks who, he likes it. He got good at it. So he got hired to do other remodeling jobs. He currently owns several rental properties and another couple of businesses, and one of them is contracting. He's also, he's married to Amanda. Hi, Amanda. They've been married 7 years, and they have a 62-acre farm in Beavercreek. They raise cows, donkeys, chickens, and goats. Wow. Amanda works at the base. Their sons Gabe is 17 and Joe Jr. is 5. Joe enjoys being on the water. They have a houseboat down at North Lake. And they're also members of the Be Hope Church. Joe is involved with the Beavercreek Parks and Recs and Beavercreek Kiwanis Club. His Rotary sponsor is Rick Paralis. Rick actually got a member of it. Of course I did.
Dave's not here, you had to take that, right?
Joe, you may be seated. So these words not only apply to our new members, but all of us. Membership in Rotary is indeed a privilege. Members are given the opportunity to become more involved in our community and provide aid to all parts of our world. Involvement is the key to getting the most out of your membership. Volunteer to serve on a committee. These activities will help you get to know your fellow club members, along with learning and developing leadership and organizational skills. Beavercreek Rotary is the service club of choice for those who make Beavercreek the wonderful community that it is today. Rotary members are expected to attend our regular meetings and make up by visiting neighboring Rotary clubs. So Xenia meets on Tuesdays, and they meet at the new YMCA. The Fairborn Club meets on Wednesdays at TJ Chumps. They're on Dayton Yellow Springs. And that's just a few. We also, Eric expects a prompt response to your quarterly invoice. And we don't want to upset Mr. Eric. And the big thing, and also participation in our Paul Harris Fellows. So you see a lot of us have these medallions. This is your first Paul Harris Fellow when you earn your first one. Okay, and that's for donating $1,000 to, and it can happen over time, to the, what do we call that? The foundation, thank you. Several Rotarians have earned multiple Paul Harris Fellows. If you want to see a really cool pin, ask Fran or Ed about theirs. Paul Harris is obviously the founder of Rotary. Folks, membership in Rotary is an honor and a privilege. Treat it with respect and dignity. Wear your Rotary pin everywhere with pride. Most importantly, practice the principles and values of Rotary in your daily business and personal life. The motto of Rotary is service above self. Make this motto part of your life. We expect that you'll be involved in our club. That's why we asked you to join. Rotarians are leaders. They have the desire to improve the community and world around us. So at this time, if Mr. Zwick Mr. Brandenburg, Joe, and Rick, please come forward to receive your Rotary pins. Go ahead, wherever you want, go ahead and put the pin on.
All right, count three. 1, 2, 3.
Maybe.
She didn't like it. Just kidding. Oh, it's timer. Count down to 7.
1, 2,
Half an hour.
1, 2.
If Dave was only here for that.
I know, right?
You don't have to count down. I got you. All right, count three. 1, 2, 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our newest Rotarians, David Brandenburg.
Thank you.
Joe, welcome. Good to have you.
Good luck, right?
Thank you very much, Brian. You always do a great job on that, so thank you very much. Welcome to you both to the club. So I got to meet you guys before, both prior to Rotary, and really excited you guys are in here. You jumped in right away for the Christmas basket. So over at Dotson, he brought probably 30 donuts. We probably ate 2, but thank you. But you fed them to your goods, right?
Yes.
That's what he said. Chickens.
Hey, Joe Jr. had a blast with my wife. That was an awesome time.
It was a great time. Real quick, David Fleming, as Brian mentioned, went to his memorial, amazing turnout. What an amazing story. And I feel like this has happened a lot this year, unfortunately, where you got to really understand someone's background in Rotary. It was really moving. And the unfortunate thing is I didn't get to know that ahead of time to talk to him about that. So I just want to say it was all about service. They did mention Rotary. They mentioned a lot of things. I didn't know he actually was in another Rotary club. So it was really interesting. But take the time to get to know your Rotarians. We're all here for the same thing. Obviously, we're not all going to be here forever. And I hope I get to know you guys a lot more before it's too late, because it's happened a couple times. So yeah, what an amazing story and what a great turnout. A lot of people there celebrating his life, but also, sad story. So he'll truly be missed at Beavercreek. All right, Jack, where's Jack? Yeah, there he is. Jack, you want to come up? We're going to do the Paul Harris Fellow. So this pin that you get, that I don't have yet, I can't wait, is you donate $1,000, and that $1,000 goes to the Rotary Foundation, which obviously does amazing things. The pin itself, but then you get gems on it, and I've seen a new one, 2 of them tonight that I've never seen before. You guys right here, I've never seen that before. So, but yeah, you want to come up here?
Well, as Stephen already said, I'm going to talk a little bit about Paul Harris Fellowship. Paul Harris Fellowship is awarded after somebody contributes to $1,000 to the Rotary International Foundation. You may ask, what does the Rotary International Foundation do? They do a whole bunch of things. One of which is the campaign they've had for multiple decades to do away with polio on the face of the earth. And that's been very, very successful. It's about 99% done right now. There's a few cases of polio in some of the very remote spots of the world. A lot of that was done through the support of the Rotary International Foundation. But everything that the Rotary International Foundation does is not across the seas and in far-off places. It also helps us support things like our Christmas baskets and the things that we do locally here in the community. They match much of our local activity. So what happens is once a person contributes $1,000 to the Rotary International program, they get recognized with a Paul Harris Fellowship Award. And that's designated several ways. One is a pin that a lot of us are wearing tonight. And one is a medallion that's hanging around my neck. You see a lot of people tonight wearing the medallion. Now, to help this program along, our local club, it's the Beavercreek Rotary Club, has initiated a program that is described on the website for our club very well. And that once you have contributed $500, depending on your service in the club and various projects we do, and it's all defined on the website, and you can sort through how you can earn support. The club will contribute to completing the fellowship so that it gets up to $1,000. Now, a lot of people contribute more than $1,000. And the way the system works is you start with a Rotary designation of Paul Harris pin, and with your first $1,000, and after you contribute your second $1,000, you get a pin with a sapphire in it. And after the third Paul Harris contribution of $1,000, you get 2 sapphires, and that continues up until you have a pin with 5 sapphires. And that's equivalent to $6,000. And then after that, they start putting rubies in your pin. And you can get 1, 2, or 3 rubies. By the time you get 3 rubies in your Paul Harris Fellowship pin, you have contributed $9,000. Now, those Rotarians that reach $10,000 reach a special plateau and are designated as major donors. We have 4 major donors in our club right now. And Fran O'Shaughnessy, Ed O'Shaughnessy, Eric Marcus, and Jim Rudd are all major donors. So tonight, I'd like to make some Paul Harris Fellowship awards. And I'd like Jim Gundle to come forward. And Jim Gundle is going to receive his Paul Harris Fellowship, his 4th Paul Harris Fellowship Award. It will be designated with a pin with 3 sapphires in it. Congratulations. Now we have another award tonight, and that's Dick Gould. Is Dick here tonight? Dick? Dick is receiving a pin with 4 sapphires in it. It's his 5th Paul Harris Fellowship Award. Now I have another award, and I don't think he's here. Is Bruce Brumfield here tonight? I don't think so. Bruce has reached the level of 6 Paul Harris Fellowship Awards, which is designated with a pin with 5 sapphires in it, and I will see that Bruce gets that pin. But now I have a very special kind of Paul Harris Fellowship. It is Cecilia Fleming in the crowd. I guess she isn't here tonight, but the club has decided to give Cecilia a special Paul Harris Fellowship in memory of Dave. And we will award that in a meeting later on, and she will get a pin and a pendant and a certificate, and that will be in memory of Dave. And you've heard a lot about Dave Fleming tonight, but one of my favorite stories about Dave Fleming, and you could talk about Dave all night long. He was a tremendous Rotarian, and the article in the back of the program on To Laugh Often is truly a reflection of how Dave lived his life. But my favorite memory or one of my favorite memories of Dave is he was introducing a guest speaker who was a judge on the Ohio Supreme Court. And as Sergeant of Arms, he cracked a few lawyer jokes before she got up. And when she got up, she smiled, looked at Dave, and said, "Terrible Dave." And Dave lived with that, often introduced himself as Terrible Dave. And he took that in a good sense, but that's my memory of Dave Fleming. And he surely will be missed, and it was a very important part of the club. So thank you.
Thank you very much, Jack. Appreciate it. Let's get another round of applause for our. All right, one of my favorite parts of this. Where is Jim Rudd, everybody? He's going to come up and introduce the Service Project Community Award.
Okay, it's my honor and pleasure to present the 2022 Marion and Maddie Pennick Outstanding Community Service Award. This award is given to somebody that has done major contributions to the city of Beavercreek to make this city a better place in which to live, in which we benefit from the contributions of this person. And in achieving this award, this person certainly has practiced Rotary's motto of service above self. The award can be presented to an individual or a team. The recipient may or may not be a member of the Beavercreek Rotary Club. Anyone in the club can nominate somebody for the award, and the winner of the award is selected by the club's board of directors. The award itself consists of a personalized trophy that's given to the individual. Their name is added to a plaque of past recipients of the award that's displayed at our meetings. They will receive a Paul Harris Scholarship in their name on behalf of the club. And also they will receive a 1-year honorary membership to the Beavercreek Rotary Club. We've had 18 previous winners of this award. They are listed in your program. The first award was given in 2003 to Bill and Elaine Mercurio. And the last award last year was given to the Beavercreek Township Fire Department Auxiliary. Out of those 18 winners, 13 have been given to individuals and 5 have been given to teams. Of those 18 winners, 12 have been members of our club and 6 have been non-members. So now let's talk about the accomplishments of this year's winner. This person has dedicated her life to serving Beavercreek, Greene County, and Miami County as an educator, a civic leader, and a volunteer. In the way of education, they have taught at Beavercreek High School, and she was an adjunct instructor in both the mathematics and computer science departments at Wright State University. Also, she worked for the provost in part-time administration positions at Wright State University, where she introduced a gifted student program for the high school and a student and faculty exchange program with the Japanese University. So you can see, as an educator, she impacted many lives through the ability to inspire the love of learning. The second major category this person has contributed to the community is as a civic leader. 42 years in appointed and elected positions at Beavercreek. 30 years was in Beavercreek Township positions. Those included 26 years as a trustee, 4 years on the Board of Zoning Appeals. In addition to that, 12 years of City of Beavercreek positions, 8 years as a Beavercreek Council member, 2 years as a mayor, 2 years on the Planning Commission. And as if that isn't enough, she also served on the Miami Valley Regional Planning Commission for decades, and in fact chairing that commission twice. Her ability to scrutinize numbers, ask tough questions, and effectively work with fellow civic leaders served our community well for decades. So she certainly is an accomplished civic leader. Then finally, the third category is volunteer. She has volunteered for the Family Violence Prevention Center of Greene County, the Beavercreek Women's League, where she served as president, treasurer, newsletter chair, the Greene County Library Board, where she was both a board member and president, the City of Beavercreek Youth Development Council, Greene County Sanitation Source Water Area Protection Committee, Beavercreek Wetlands Association Spotted Turtle Trail Committee, Temple Israel, where she was a board member and secretary of the board, as well as the Beavercreek Township Fire Department Auxiliary, where last year she worked with the Greene County Health Department on COVID-19. Recently, she was recognized as a dangerous stain with Dayton by the League of Women Voters. She is a mentor to many and a legend to all. And I think from what I've already told you, it's obvious she has exemplified Rotary's motto of service above self as an educator, as a civic leader, and a volunteer. Her late husband, Colonel Lee Shotzley, received this award in 2019. So it is only proper that she received this award alongside him. The winner of our award was nominated by Elizabeth Cusack, Fran O'Shaughnessy, and Alex Zahar. Please join me in congratulating this year's winner of the 2022 Marion and Maddie Kinnick Outstanding Community Service Award, Carol Grant. First thing I'll present is her trophy, which says 2022 Marion and Maddie Pinnick Outstanding Community Service Award, presented to Carol Graff for your dedicated service to the community, the Rotary Club of Beavercreek. Have a plaque that we have at our meetings, and now Carol's name has been added to that plaque. We displayed. We have a Paul Harris Fellowship pin And this is Carol's third, so she gets 2 sapphires in the pin. If I can move it, I'll just have it right here. There you go. And then finally, she's an honorary member of our club for the next year, so you're welcome to attend any of our meetings as our guest. With that, I'll turn it over to you.
I didn't prepare a speech, but I do appreciate it. Thank you so much. There's so much you can do when you live long and stay healthy so you can live longer. I have loved everything I've done. I enjoy doing it. I've been lucky to meet such wonderful people as I went along the way. And I call it as my journey. I remember when this award was started, and I knew Maddie Pennant and Marion at the beginning, and we met at the beginning of Rotary Field, which Marion Pennant started. Some of you didn't know that. I knew the first winners, Bill and Elaine Mercurio, but unfortunately this week, Bill died. That was a sad thing. But there's so many of you that I've known for so many years. And thank you so much. Beavercreek is a wonderful place, and I hope to be here for many more years.
Would the past recipients of this award come forward, we would like to take a group picture. So anyone that's received the award in the past.
We are twins.
All right, count 3. 1, 2, 3. Everyone looks good. Carol, you look better.
Thank you so much, Jim Rudd. Huge congratulations, Carol, much deserved. There is no doubt in my mind that half the people that are here today are actually here for you, so huge congrats. I'd like to invite President-elect Brandon up. Brandon is going to introduce his board for next year.
Okay, I'm glad he put the list here because I am so bad at remembering names. But before we get into that, I do have something here for Stephen. This is not perfect attendance. That was the bare minimum. But this is for being president for the past year. You've done a wonderful job. It's been an awesome experience. I know you and Mr. Canada had a tough experience with the pandemic and making it happen. And thank you for all you've done to make it happen this past year. Okay, so I'm gonna call them all up. So we're gonna start down. I'm gonna go reverse order here if that's allowed. I'm gonna start at the bottom of this list. This is the back of the program for y'all. Starting the exchange co-chairs. If you're here, some of these people might call up twice. Like Eric Marcus. No, please forgive me. Matt Seco, did I say that correctly? Yes, you got it. I guess I'll sleep up. So there are our exchange co-chairs. Yeah. Next up is our Rotaract lead is Jim Rudd. Followed by our webmaster, Jim Gundel. You guys can clap. It's allowed. Next is an advertisement on club engagement. Maybe you all have some free time in your schedule. Please let me know. We'd love to have a club engagement officer. Club program coordinator, Pete Bales and Mark Weinstein. I'm not sure Mark Weinstein's here, but I know Pete is. These are the people who make the schedule. Who's going to speak at the meetings? Next up, we have Club Communications and PR Director. I don't think she's with us tonight, but Amanda Hayes. And Club Service Project Director, also not with us tonight, is Pratop Chevon. Club Administration Director, Don Adams. And this is what they don't tell you when they kind of recruit you as president. So be aware, if you've never been chosen before, you spend a year as the president-elect, and a year as the president, and then a year as the immediate past president, so you go on foundation and lead that, and then it's 5 years on the foundation board. It's an 8-year commitment. So congrats to our immediate past president, Stephen Brown, for your 3rd year, your 8-year term. Sergeant Arms, again, Don Adams. Again, Treasurer, Eric Marcus. And I kind of created a problem here. We have an opening for secretary, and this is concerning for multiple reasons. One, I robbed Peter to pay Paul. I've stolen our secretary to make him our president, so that would be Mr. Dave Cusack. Another major concern here is I think he told me he is the first 2-time president in our club history. Is that true? Yeah. I think we're getting into like an FDR situation. We might have to change the bylaws here after his term. So this is the board for the next year. A few are missing. We are definitely looking for a secretary and a club engagement officer, but I'm thrilled that all these people have decided to step forward and help us out for the next year. So thank you. Oh, that's kind of, he's gonna give you a moment here. He asked me last week if I wanted to speak to the Rotary theme for this coming year. Every year, the incoming president-elect for Rotary International chooses a theme. The current one is really heavily focused on service. Oh, I do apologize. Ashley, can you hand my cell phone really quick? I had to pull it up. The image of it is in the program right where that list of board of directors is. And I remember when he showed it to me, the first thing I said, imagine Rotary. And all I could think was, well, I can imagine a better branding choice than the one they made. Kind of a branding and marketing guy. I wasn't really feeling it. I kind of think I know what they're doing here. You know, the 7 circles, I imagine, is probably the 7th book series of Rotary, but I'm not really sure what's going on with the heavy emphasis on purple. So I wanted to see what they actually said. And so incoming president-elect Jennifer Jones said she imagines a Rotary where members act to make their dreams become reality, and they make the most of their club experiences. She urges members to engage more with one another and to use these connections to build partnerships that change the world. And it made me think back to my first Rotary meeting at Block 27, this really young crowd. No, that's updated, and that was a whole different audience. It was slightly over. I think Stephen here was very politely calling a hold earlier when he said, "I want to meet with you before it's too late. Get to know you guys." I was like, wow, really just laying it on there. But yeah, I didn't come to Rotary because it was hip and happening or anything like that. I came because it was people who believed in community, and it was very obvious from the get-go. Community didn't mean much to me when I first lived here as a lieutenant. I spent most of my weekends, funny enough, I lived at the apartment complex right there at the Beavercreek golf course. Didn't know what Rotary was, didn't care what Rotary was. Played a lot of video games. And then I left and I went to Los Angeles and I lived in a small town called Claremont, California. And some might know Claremont as the town of, they call it the town of trees and PhDs. There's 7 universities there, you know, Harvey Mudd, Scripps, Pomona, Pitzer. And I saw what community was living there. The town was beautiful. People believed in the community. Literally trees everywhere. If you look at a Google Maps, everything in California looks dead when you zoom in, but there's a green spot, and that's Claremont. And I loved it. And then when I had left Ohio in 2014, I said, I'm never going back to Ohio. I was stoked driving down the 70 out of this place. And 3 years later, life brought me back. And so I said, okay, I'm back. I'm going to get involved. I'm going to care about this community. And I want to get involved. And I want to make change in the community and believe in the community. Because I was really tired of people who say, oh, there's nothing to do with dating and dating sucks. I take that pretty personally these days. So I came into Rotary because of the community, because of the people in the community. I mean, if you look around this room, everyone here's a winner. Everyone's been getting it done for years. The award we just gave out, there's lawyers, there's civil servants of 50+ years. There's people who listen in on the meeting because they can't be here because they're in the hospital, but they don't want to give up their attendance after 49 years. That's Rotary. We're not just a lunch club that meets on Fridays. And I hope you guys remember that. And I hope as we look forward to the next year, to really engage with one another. As Steven said, I think what's, I'm going to say this thing, don't laugh at me. As I get older, I started reading obituaries. And I was really saddened as I read like Dave Fleming's and I read Bob Wilda's. And I thought to myself, these were giants among men. And I was just like Steven, I was very saddened I didn't know those things about those men when they were here. And that's on me for not taking the time to engage with them and to learn more about them. But it's also a testament to the people that are in the Rotary we're giants. But everyone knows the sum is greater than the parts. And so when we work together, there's a lot of opportunity to make very powerful change in this community. And so I hope over the next year and, I guess it's been 50 years as we head into this next year that we set the stage for the next 50 years. So I hope we can see through President-elect Jennifer Jones' message here. Again, she urges members to engage more with one another and use these connections to build partnerships that change the world. I think next year is going to be great, and I look forward to it. So, thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brandon. Super excited for your term next year, not only because mine ends, but I got to give it up to Mike Canada. I know he's not here, so don't tell him I spoke highly of him, but what a tough term for him to be completely on Zoom for his term, and what a great opportunity for me. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit of a struggle as far as trying to figure out Zoom. Going Zoom and live at the same time at the podium was pretty tough, but I'm really looking forward to being on next year's board and working with Brandon and our board members. We have the greatest opportunity to push forward. Brandon has a great insight. It's going to be a great year. It's not going to be better than my year, but it's going to be a great year. And I'm going to thank our members, Beavercreek. You said it best. We're in a great community. Beavercreek's amazing. I won the lottery with my parents allowing me and my brothers and sisters to grow up here. We have an amazing community, and our members are absolutely amazing here at Rotary. We are very blessed. Brandon can contest. We had to do our Rotary training on Zoom, which is a little weird, getting to meet people in person in Ohio. But every time Beavercreek got brought up, everyone was saying something. So it goes to the great programs that Mike Zwick and Pete Bales and Mark Weinstein put together. But my favorite line from Brandon: "We are not a lunch club. We're out in the community doing what Rotary is meant to do, which is serve to change lives." That's this year's theme, and I'm just very blessed that I was given this opportunity. I truly appreciate all the support everyone's given me through this term, and next month it will be on Brandon. Thank you, guys. This is the end of it. I appreciate you coming. Thank you. You guys